Hey, welcome folks to the Let's Go Fishing Show, and good to have Mike back with me again tonight.
Be here again.
Yes, sir. We know the Lady Vols are playing probably right about halftime, and last score we had, they was behind by 6 or 8, so we hope that changes. But listen, I hope you've tuned in to the show here tonight, and we're going to follow up on some of this safety stuff first, Mike, before we get into the crappie film that you've got, because you know, you've probably heard the anger fatality down on Okeechobee and the FLW this past week. I think it happened Friday, or no, maybe Thursday. And it's been hard to get information about the situation, but anyway, yeah, they closed the tournament out, wouldn't let them fish Friday, and then anyway, they finally said that's it, it's over. But thoughts and prayers go out to that gentleman's family for sure. And young, he wasn't an older fella at all. He was a non-boater. The boater wound up making it back to the boat or whatever. Like I say, they're still investigating that. Then heard this 2 hours ago that the Tennessee Tech down at Cookeville, their high school or their college coach had
for the fishing team,
yeah, for the fishing team, fell in the water or something. Anyway, he was deceased and on Center Hill this morning, sometime this morning. So we gotta, thoughts and prayers go out to that gentleman's family. But it's bad situation. Want to say hello to Dad, Paul and Bill, and Gay, and if she's back, I don't know. I hadn't talked to Bill today to see, but want to say hello to them and all the folks up in the Campbell County area for sure. But we're going to talk a little bit more about this safety, Mike. This time of year, you don't have this cold water, and if you all think back last week, the temperatures down in Florida, the water was froze over in places. The gators was poking their heads up through the ice trying to breathe, and they were talking about it there on the internet at the tournament, that how cold the water temperature was, just right above and right around freezing, cold, and that's out of the ordinary for that place down there, Mike.
Yes, sir.
So cold water and colder temperatures, and on a place that probably 50 degrees would be a real bad cold front for them,
Yes, sir.
So anyway, we're going to get into more of this safety stuff and what we got to do on the water. But to start with, we're going to show. I've got with Glenn Reynolds. Let's see, I guess it's Tuesday, and Glenn and I set up a deal. I met him this afternoon, and Glenn, he's got trophies and records of high speed running and this, that, and the other, and he's been in a few boating accidents. Luckily, he's got to walk away from all of them. But I went down, met with him this afternoon at his satellite shop, and we got up in the boat and kind of donned our safety equipment and got some pointers, talked about some things, and we're going to show the film, and then we're going to come back and I got a couple of life jackets over here, and we're going to talk about them for a minute, and then Mike's got some crappie film. He's not got a lot, but he's got some, and that kind of thing. So Dylan, are you ready? All right, take us to the film.
Hey folks, I just happened to be headed by Edgemore
Outdoors. I want you to know that
they're not at the old location. They're here.
and it's halfway between Bull Run and the old location where they were at, but I'm sure proud to see Jim and Jeannie in this new building, and they still got some things they got to do, but they've got all their tackle moved in here, got the parking lots paved, and great looking place. Big red roof, you can't miss it if you're here on Edgemore Road, and be looking for them, Edgemore Outdoors. I'm gonna go inside for just a second and get right back with you. Hey folks, I'm inside here at Edgemore Outdoors, and give you a little quick scan of the building here. And Jim's got all kinds of room that he didn't have, and he's got this place real nice and neat, stuff on the wall. I mean, it's just so he's having more racks built to add more tackle. So remember the new location. And okay folks, that address is 994 Edgemore Road, Clinton, but it's the big red roof up on the left here. If you're headed over to Clinton Highway, and be on your right coming towards Bull Run. And I'll tell you what, this is going to be, he had the best bait store in the area, and now it's even going to be better. He'll have more tackle, more room, and you know how Jim is. He likes to keep plenty of stock. So get by here and see him. Edgemore Outdoors, and we appreciate it. Okay, folks, I'm back here with Jim, and he's showing me something they've had for quite a while to tune your bows up and that kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. Now, Jim, what's this thing supposed to do?
It shoots the bow. It shoots the bow itself. Takes out all human error.
Oh, okay. It's like a bore sight on a gun or something?
No. See,
In other words, me being nervous, this right here won't be nervous.
right. This won't be no. This is not shaking. Right now, it's not bolted to the floor, but we had it bolted to the floor at the other store.
Right. Right.
You pull this thing back, and we don't have the bow shop set up right now.
Right. I can understand that.
But you put your arrow in, and you just.
Oh.
It shoots.
Okay.
And the older I get, the worse my shoulder gets.
Yes.
So.
Okay, I got the program now. That's all right, Jim. That's like putting a gun in a vise and pulling the trigger. Yeah, I got you. That's dead. Yeah, that's the way you dead center it, man. That's great.
That's the plywood stuff in four. We'll start building walls tomorrow.
Okay, folks. So there you go. They've got that. And Jim's always had this bow stuff up at the other store, but give him a day or two here. They got a wall to build and a target to hang up, and this, that, and the other. Get by here and see them at Edgemore Outdoors. If you need anything about your bow took care of, they'd be more than glad to get your business. Thank you, Jim. All right. Hey, folks. I'm here at 620 Ray Street, Kingston, and I'm at the satellite store for Reynolds Racing and Marine, and I'm going to meet Glenn here in a few minutes, and we're going to look over this life jacket situation. Glenn's got some good information, and we're going to compare a few life jackets and that kind of thing. So anyway, stay tuned, and we'll get back with you there shortly. Like I said, I'm here in front of the satellite store, and got some boats and stuff in here. We'll get inside here in a few minutes as soon as Glenn gets here, and take a look at what we want to show you all, and we'll get back into it. Hello, folks. I'm here at Reynolds Racing and Marine, and I've got Mr. Glenn Reynolds here in the boat with me. And Glenn and I have talked. We had the angler down in Florida on Okeechobee he and his partner were ejected from the boat, and the non-boater didn't survive. And Glenn and I have been talking about that, and the last week and last 2 weeks on the show, we've been talking about these life jackets, wearing them all the time, and this, that, and the other. Now, Glenn's going to go into some details. He's been fortunate enough to been thrown out of a boat a couple of times. And Glenn, tell us about the experience.
Well, you got to stay alive. You can't. My note said you can't catch any fish at the bottom of the river. And we've always been a advocator of safety. The more times I've had accidents, the more safety prone I've been.
Yes, sir.
And I guess let me stand up here and show you. It's called leg straps,
Yes, sir.
and it holds you the boat. It holds your jacket down off of you.
Yes, sir.
I've had people that's been thrown out with a life jacket on, and tell me that they struggled for hours trying to stay alive because it wants to ride up.
Yeah, get over your face and head. Yeah, understandable.
You got to fight it all the time.
Yes, sir.
So, and then a collar is nice. If you are unconscious, it'll sort of keep your head up.
Yes, sir.
So those two things. Now, these jackets are hard to find right now. We need to find a better source. Mercury sold them for several years.
Yes, sir.
I guess the reason they quit selling, nobody probably didn't want to buy them. You see.
Right.
Now helmets is another deal.
Yes, sir.
I wear one with a face shield. Now, what you don't want a big full face helmet around here that when you go in the water, you don't want that thing twisting your neck and breaking your neck. I've lost some friends like that. So I wear an open face.
Right.
Sometimes I wear a full face,
Yes, sir.
but I file the latch off of it so it's
Flops open.
it's on there and it holds it.
Yeah.
But if you was to go in the water, say like that, and it caught you and you had it relaxed permanently, it'll twist your neck. So I file the latch off of it so it's semi.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot to spring it open.
Yeah, so it won't twist that neck. You see, and it still protects you if you get a lick in the in the front. Now I've lost several of my friends. Tony Reynolds, lost him. He was out testing the bullet. It blew out, spun sideways, dual console, throwed him into this console, throwed him out. He come up, but the fisherman didn't get there in time. Now he knew better not to wear his life jacket. So like wearing your seatbelt in a car.
Yes, sir.
We need all the safety we can muster.
I agree 100%, Glenn.
Of course, pull the kill switch here.
Yeah.
Of course, the kill switch is
Right.
is a very necessary item
Yeah.
that we need to always wear. That's a hot foot, the vent of the hot foot, because when you get thrown over, it automatically goes back to an idle,
Yes, sir.
which is better than running.
Right. Full speed and still knew it out in water.
Yes, and most time the boat will circle.
Yes, sir.
So we've got we're working on safety more every day.
Right. Let me hand you this.
Okay.
And I'll tell the folks.
Okay.
This right here is a Christmas present, folks, from my daughter to my grandson, Wesley. And Glenn and I have talked about these things, and there's no leg straps on it whatsoever.
No.
And it's automatic or manual.
Yes.
And now, Glenn, you've seen these things around a lot longer than I have.
Well, I got mixed emotions.
Okay.
Probably a good fishing where you better than not having anything. But now, if you do get thrown out, you have no leg straps, and this thing has you've got a manual pull.
Yes, sir.
Or you got a water activated device.
Right.
Now, we've had some reported failures. I don't wear them. It's sort of a personal preference. Now, the disadvantage, I do have foam rib protection here. If you get slung into some boats, you get slung into that, you do have a little bit of
protection.
Protection that protects your internal organs, or not as likely to knock the breath out of you.
Right.
If you got and of course it's foam around the back. This has very little. You follow me?
It doesn't have any, Glenn. It's all. It's basically just the inflatable part of the balloon that blows up, and that's it.
So I don't want to say that this is bad or good.
Yeah, I got you.
It's a personal preference. At least at least have one or the
Yeah,
other. You follow
I
me?
agree. I agree.
But,
100%. It's the comfort thing.
It is comfort.
Us fishermen, we're not thinking about the safety part because we don't expect anything to happen. But if it does happen and that thing fails to inflate and you're knocked out, you don't have a chance.
Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but it was on Facebook a while ago that we lost another in Center Hill.
No kidding.
Now, where that was, I hadn't verified it, but that was, Travis had it on his cell phone.
Yeah.
So we don't know, but this cold water now.
Cold water, Glenn, and if you'll remember, they said the water temperature in Okeechobee was what, 30 or 30 degrees. They showed the alligators coming through the ice to get air, and so the fishermen down there, that's out of the norm for down there.
It is out of the norm. Yes,
yeah, and so you go out there and you hitting that 30-degree water, you're in shock.
Yes.
Automatically, you're put in shock. So, but we really feel for that angler down there.
Family and all this.
Family,
terrible.
yeah, it's terrible.
It's not good for the industry.
Agreed.
It's not good for the series.
Yeah.
And of course, we have car accidents. Every day we've killed about 6 here in the last little bit right here in Roane County.
Yeah.
But it seemed like the boat accident and
a lot more publicity.
Attention. Now that's something else we do. I don't know where you get down here.
Yeah,
we like a seat.
Yeah.
We like a seat that holds us in.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, I think your Northcraft got some seats.
You got to put bucket seats, what they call the bucket seat type
it's
deal.
an off-road type bucket seats.
Yes,
now I like that.
Yeah.
Now a lot of customers like to sit up almost on top of the deck, real high.
Mm-hmm.
Now I like to sit down in a boat. It's just personal.
I do too. Yeah, feels more comfortable and more safer. Exactly right.
I mean, if you're sitting up here within just a few inches of the deck, it don't take long to pop you out.
Yeah, exactly right.
But I've run all kind of boats. I've run capsules. I've been run over and chopped on and thrown out, and so I got a lot of experience. So
I understand.
The more birthdays I get, the more safety conscious I become.
All right. Well, Glenn, listen, I appreciate you demoing this safety equipment for us, and we'll put it on the show, and hopefully somebody will get the message and might help keep somebody from getting drowned.
Thanks for coming by.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. This right here is how fast it can happen, folks. There's a boat up in front of them, and they go across this wave to the right. Watch. Both the anglers are in the water and they're talking to one another. There goes a boat. 2 boats past them, 3 boats past them, 4 boats. boaters seen what went on or come up behind them, saw them in the water. Nobody in the boat, so he's pulled over to ask them, God for help. Here we go again, one more time. Boom. All right, we're back. Mike's arguing with me about the boat being over to the side of him. No, I told him if he saw the beginning of that, you'd see that they were following a boat, went to cross his wave to the right, and got threw out just that quick. So there's all kinds of those boat wrecks on YouTube, folks. I mean, it's unreal, really. But that one there, that was University of Florida fishing team, and those two gentlemen got threw out just real quick. Now, here is the human factor about this thing. In these tournaments, Mike, the rules are your life jacket's got to be on, zipped up, buttoned up, snapped up, and your kill switch hooked up. Mm-hmm. Anytime the big motor is running.
Yeah.
So you go down there crappie fishing, and all your life jackets is up and under the front of the boat.
Yeah.
Okay. So, human nature, if you ain't forced to do it, you ain't going to do it.
Well,
Huh?
I don't know.
Bottom line.
Just depends on how I'm going to be running.
Yeah.
Well, just barely on top, creeping around, and more than likely I probably don't put mine on, but if I'm planning on making a run down the lake or something, then
right.
I can get it out.
Well, that's like wearing your seatbelt, Mike. If the law didn't make you wear it, you wouldn't wear it.
Probably true.
Probably true. That's exactly what I thought. That's why I want you with that life jacket on, Mike, all the time, especially this time of year. Now, if it's 80 degrees out there and you fall overboard, okay, if you're fishing, and you fall in, you've probably got a good chance of getting back up in the boat. But water temperature 43 degrees, 40 degrees, your chances are real slim.
Yeah.
And and that kind of thing. So anyway, Mike, hand me those life jackets right here. Okay. This right here is the Mustang self-inflatable life jacket. And talking with TWRA, the officer wasn't 100% sure, but he said, I'm almost sure, Steve, if you're not, you've got to be 16 years of age to wear one of these. But, double check. If you got a teenager, 12, 13, 14 years old, check the law book and make sure that that's right. If they're wearing one of these and you get pulled over, if it is 16, then you're going to be breaking the law. But I had a guy express that to me this afternoon. He said it's been a while since I looked at it, but I'm almost sure that they got to be 16 years of age to wear one of these self-inflatable
It should say it on the inside.
PDFs. So
let me read it and see.
check that out, and our PDEs, personal flotation devices, PFDs, and here is what that when I bought
It's a type 3.
Type 3, yeah. When I bought this type one and another one, I bought two of them at the same time, was in 2008. When I got them out of the package, they had the leg straps on them. Well, I took them off, throw them in the back of the basement on the shelf back there, and they've been there ever since, till tonight. And with the stories that I got from Glenn, about the gentleman being out in the water and his life jacket kept floating up and around his face and it just barely did make it to shore. Yeah, you know, could have been a fatality. So I went back there and prowled through my junk drawer and found my straps, so I've hooked them on. And I will use them from here on out. Because as you can see from that boating accident, it doesn't take but a second and you're in the water. And how those boys got out of that boat without getting hurt, I'll never know. But that's great. And then, you know, the big thing is when we're running, there's fishermen, like I said, tournament rules, you got to have your life jacket and stuff on. But when you quit running and you're fishing, you know, first thing we do probably is take our life jacket off. Now, in the summertime, that's my first thing. I leave it in the seat, you know, most of the time. 90% of the time, if I go to the front of the boat with it on, I'm taking it off and I just toss it back there in the driver's seat. But in the winter time, you need to keep this thing on. And it does help in the warmth. And, you know, keeps you a little warmer, knocks the wind off and that kind of thing, and really makes a difference. So we all need to practice good safety on the water, folks. I mean, with everything. You know, from your life jacket to your keel switch to your running lights on your boat at night or at dusk, you know, the whole 9 yards. I come a hair running over a guy up there last summer, back this past summer. I mean, just lucky, saw his silhouette between me and the street light there at the boat ramp, and he had a light in his hand, and he was running across the lake. And man, I'm telling you, 20 yards. I don't know if I was 20 yards from him. And so you know, but it all revolves around that. And when you have, you know, one little mistake can be a whole lot of trouble. And but right now, Mike, get your life jacket on. I'm not going to tell you again. I want you, but I'm going to send the law after.
Right, here's what it says right there: for use on recreational boats by persons at least 16
years of age. That's exactly what the fella was telling me, but I wanted to let everybody verify that for themselves because, yeah, you got to be 16 or above to wear that type of life jacket. So, anyway,
yeah,
we're moving right along.
Not approved watercraft like jet skis and stuff like that, or paddling or running down, going down your rivers, you know, water skiing, knee boarding, and all that.
Well, the reason for that is because that type of activity keeps you wet 95 or 98% of the time.
That's true too.
And the water sets that thing off.
Yeah.
So, or at least it's supposed to. And that's what we're counting on. We're counting on that tablet that's dissolving.
It's like a little aspirin.
It's like a little aspirin in the top of that. It's a CO2 cartridge, same thing you'd put in a BB gun or pellet gun or something like that. It's what's in that. And that aspirin dissolves and poof, blows, it you know, it releases its air and it blows that thing up. But you know, we're counting on that happening. Now, if that doesn't happen, then there's a cord to automatically release it. You 2 fingers jerk it loose, and it pops the aspirin or the tablet out and inflates the thing up. That is well and good if you're conscious and know what's going on. But I mean, I'm not sold on those things yet, and my daughter's got quite a bit of money invested in that thing, and I don't know. I'm not convinced, and it doesn't have any leg straps. And I done told grandson we'd get some suspenders, and we'd fasten some on there. We'd make some leg straps for that thing some way, somehow. We had to take them to an upholstery shop or somewhere and let them do some sewing for us, sew us some on there or whatever. But that's just, you know, my thinking. But anyway, those few things. That's what's on my mind right now is being safe on the water. Now let me point out a couple of other things to you. If you're going fishing, Mike, by yourself, by the time when you pull out of your driveway, that's the last that anybody at home sees you till you get back. They don't know where you're at. All they know is you're going fishing. Where are you going fishing at? What boat ramp you going to use? What time you think you'll be back? That is called a float plan. In other words, if you didn't come back at a certain time, or you weren't back by dark or a little after, then, you know, if you said, hey, he's on Watts Bar Lake, as far as I know, well, the time you go from Kingston to the dam on the right side, and then from Kingston to the dam on the left side, you've killed about 2 or 3 hours. Yeah. We're going to check every boat ramp from Kingston to the dam on 58. We're going to check every boat ramp from Kingston down 27. So just think about that now. How long would that take rescue to go look for that, to go find you? Find where your vehicle's at to start with. Well, he put in here. He put in at Rockwood, but now which way did he go? Back towards Kingston or down towards the dam? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't have to tell, you know, where you're fishing at as far as fishing secret goes, but do let somebody know the vicinity that you think you might be in. And now a cell phone does make a whole lot of difference. And there again, the other night we talked about keeping your cell phone. If it's in your pocket and you hit the water, 99% of the time that cell phone's not going to work. When you bob up and you go to reaching for it, it's done drowning. And so that comes back to that, putting that thing in a compartment on the boat, possibly that you could reach from out in the water. Reach over in the boat and get it and dial the number because, you know, get you some help. The second thing is who do you call if somebody's not back when you think, you know, that they ought to be back? People I talked to said you probably want to call 911 first, but the non-emergency call, because you're not sure. You know they're just running late. You don't know if something's wrong or not, and then they can contact the proper authorities to get people out and start looking. So that's just the kind of information I got of how that works. So keep that in mind, but do let somebody know, you know, where you're going there, Mike, and where you might be, and that kind of thing. Because, you know, I'll tell this story. Mike and Brad went to Norris on a Tuesday. Was it Tuesday night or Thursday? Tuesday night. Yeah. You put in at Andersonville and you run all the way to Hickory Star to fish the tournament. Tournament was over at 11 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay, 1 o'clock my phone rings. Mike's wife. Buddy, she's just tore all to pieces. Mike and Brad's not back yet. Okay, so what's going on? I said, what do you mean they're not back? Well, they ain't got back yet. And I said, I didn't even know they'd gone up there to fish the tournament. So I said, what? She said they went to Norris to fish. And I said, they fished that tournament. So I called Andersonville Boat Dock, talked to the guy at the dock, and I said, hey, my brother and his buddies put in up there this afternoon. I said, got a red pickup truck. And I said, can you look over there and see if it's still sitting there on the boat ramp? And he said, well, the fog's kind of rolling in, but I'll see. He said, hold on. So he went over there and looked. He said, yeah. I said, there's a truck sitting over there. I said, okay. And so I knew where to go look for them at. Well, so I start getting ready. And it's coming up on about 3:30, 4 o'clock. And I tell that guy, I said, hey, if they were to come by the dock in the next little bit, I said, I'm going to be ready coming up there looking for them. I said, I've got to get dressed, get my boat hooked up and all that. I said, you call me back. Well, about an hour, just as I was getting ready to get in the truck to pull out, the phone rings. And it's the guy at the dock. He said, buddy, they just come by the dock here. Said they were paddling with a dip net and battery's dead. I said, okay, sir, thank you. So I called Mike's wife, tell her that they'll be home shortly, and I go back to bed. But, you know, that's a good ending to that story. You know, it could have been a lot worse. It could have been something really bad happen. So, you know, in a wildcat tournament, I fished them myself, and if we didn't have any fish, go put on the trailer. Don't even go to the dock to weigh in. So, you know, those guys there probably wouldn't have, nobody missed them. You know, the only one that missed them was Mike's wife, and, you know, about 4 hours later. So, anyway, moral of that story is kind of keep us updated, Mike, on where you're at and what's going on. But a cell phone, you know, back in them days we didn't have cell phones, so it's a lot harder to communicate. But that's the only good benefit about a cell phone is I can see is that you can communicate when there's a problem or things of that nature. So I want to get off of that story, but yeah, that was a dandy that night. So we'll move right along. But yeah, that's one thing from TWRA is file you a float plan, and that just means let somebody know where you might be in the area that you're planning on going. Mike, he put in at Blue Springs one time, Caney Creek the next, Maple Grove one time, at the dam the next. So you know he's all over. It's hard to find somebody that's all over. You got to cover a lot of ground to hunt for them, and that kind of thing. And I'm the same way. I need to be. I'm preaching to the choir here. I need to be doing too. You know, letting people know where I'm at. Another thing too. Let's see here. I made a few notes while I was talking to the officer. Tell someone where you're going and then, you know, what area you might be in. Naturally, if the person at home, you're not back in a reasonable hour, like I said, the 911 call, it's the non-911 number, non-emergency. And then the other thing he wanted me to mention, if you're around a boat ramp, launching area, and you see people putting out dogs, throwing out garbage, anything that shouldn't be, they'd appreciate it if you'd give them a call, because they're trying their best. They put all these new docks in, Mike, on Watts Bar, starting at Little Emery and working their way downstream, a couple there around Kingston area and on and so forth, Shady Oak, on down the road. You know, they're trying their best to keep those places cleaned up, looking good, and for some reason other people want to use them for a trash dump. And not just in that part of the country, but up the road here, I had the same report too from both places. So, yeah, if you see anything that you don't think ought to be on the up and up of the boat ramp, they'd appreciate if you'd give them a call. He says they're having a time keeping these places cleaned up, and that's a shame. But anyway, it happens. So we just need to help out where we can. Okay, Mike, you got anything you want to add to the, there's a few things we talked about on the safety, because we want to get you film up here pretty quick last week going home that we forgot to mention. Can you think about what it was? I should have wrote it down, naturally. Forgot it. But folks, you know, everything we've talked about in the last 2 weeks is just good common sense, keep you safe on the water. You know, I mentioned my buddy had a pair of tie-up insulated boots, and it got to weighing on his mind. You know, everything's filling up with water, and they got a big, you know, they're just going to be like a sponge. And he said, I'd like to be able to get them off, so he went and bought him a new pair of slip-ons so they could slip them off his feet and go right on. And if you know, you guys that's wore a big tall boot, they're a little harder to get off and a little short, ankle length boot, Mike, definitely for a fact. But anyway, my buddy Bill, he wears one of those inflatable jackets, and listen, I know that they're real easy put on. I'm not saying they're bad or anything like that. They are a whole lot more cooler, a whole lot more comfortable to put on than a big gawky jacket like I wear. So we're going to see. May just test that thing here, Mike. Water gets warm, see how it works out.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of thing. So, but just think about that. Want to be safe on the water, especially this time of year, because that water's cold and you won't get many. You just can't stay in it, but just for a few minutes, few seconds, and the first thing you're going to do is go like that. It's done.
Oh, it's going to take your breath.
Take your breath away. Ain't no two ways about it. Yeah. Yeah. We need to get. Might get Wesley to stand there and let me throw a bucket of ice water on him, reckon.
I don't know. You do that or not?
I don't know either. Anyway, Dylan, you ready to take us to the crappie film? All right, do it, buddy.
Okay, folks. Had to break the ice to get in down here, but I'm down here at Caney Creek, and it's coming out through here and run across stuff. So dropped down there. Done caught 2 dandy crappies. They're about 20 foot deep, so hang with us and we'll see if we can't get a few more of them. They seem to be jumping on that minnow pretty good, so anyway, remember the sponsors and let's go fishing. That water temperature's showing 38 degrees, 20 foot of water. Another good crappie. Okay. Makes 3. I like it. Put him in the box. Try to get another. Yeah, finally got it. See, they're moving around on me down there a little bit. Needle nose after that. Get baited up here and get back after another. Makes 4. Find another crappie down there. In around there. Throw it in the live well and go to stinking. So we'll hang with them, see if we can find a few more. This time. Going that crazy thing. Okay. Yeah. That going rascals. Okay, folks, I'm down here at Blue Springs, just got in the water. Water temperature is 41 degrees. It's sprinkling a little rain, so we'll have to put up with the rain a little bit, but we're going to try to put a few minnows down and see if we can find some more of them crappie. They've been kind of slow the last few trips. But anyway, at least we don't have to break through the ice this time. So hang with us, and hopefully that we can catch a few of them. And remember the sponsors, and let's go fishing. Oh yeah, that's another crappie. Get up here, you son of a... Come here. That old hook come out, didn't it? Come here. Don't you didn't get away from it. Big old crappie. Well. How that happened. You got away anyway. We'll get back down there and see if we can get another. I guess it might not get off on me. Oh, another big crappie. Yeah, another big crappie. A little bit slow, hard between, but we'll get back after it. Another one on here. Oh yeah, he's bigger than others. You keep, I think. Down there 42 foot. Okay, folks, you can see the depth finder. You can see it there, 30 foot, 38 foot of water. Right on the edge of a drop right here. Right there's what's putting the depth finder out. I mean, there's 10 foot of them down there that you're trying to, and if you go off the edge of it here, I'll pull us out here a little bit, off the edge of it, and it just seems like you get more of them. I don't know what it is, but they're down there, 42. There's some fish running around over top of them. There's 50 foot deep. You're still 35 foot up to the top of the shad there. They've just got the lake covered with them down there. You get way out there in the middle, you probably get out of them, but there's plenty of them down there, and that's what we're competing against right now. So I'm gonna try to get back in here and find something that's a little bit cleaner. Ain't got as many shad around. Maybe we'll find a few crappie. Hang with us and we'll see what we can do. I don't know about this one, folks. I believe it's a catfish. It ain't rolling yet, but no, it's crappie. It's a good crappie. I'll leave him what a shad he's got in his mouth. Oscar shad. Big ones. Get that out there. We don't want that in the live well stinking, that's for sure. Yeah. Get down there and eating on it. 43 feet, so put him in the box and see if we can get another. Oh yeah. Yeah, he got me hung up in there and I finally got him loose. What a mess he made, though. Say that for him. My goodness. Finally got him unhooked. May take a week to get that line straightened out. Put him in the box. Ain't getting many of them, but they sure are good ones. See what we got this time. Yeah, a little crappie. Little bitty crappie. See, those are down there. All right. What we got here? I think I got a crappie. I don't know. No catfish. All right. Okay, folks. It's fogging me in here. Getting pretty late anyway. I believe we could have done pretty good if we ever got that sun to come out, but never did get no sunshine today, so them fish are down there. Maybe we'll come back and get on them when the sun is shining better. Anyway, we're going to put it on the trailer and try to get home and get ready for the show tonight, so we'll catch you over the show. Appreciate it.
All right, Mike, dadgummit. I guess crappie fishing down there Saturday's gonna be out. Since you ain't catching none.
Well, that was funny that when I got in there the other day, and Candy Creek had to break the ice to get out of there, and then started out through there and fished one tree out there, 20 foot deep or so there, and never got a strike out of it. And then eased out there toward the channel, started coming out of there, and then all of a sudden I run across some fish there, and I said, dang, that looks like crappie stacked up on that rock right there. And turned the boat around and dropped it back down there, and just bam, 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 just they was right there on it. And then all of a sudden I couldn't get another bite. It was a lost one. I think I caught 3 out of there, and then went on out of the creek and started looking for some more places alongside the channel there, 20, 21 foot deep, and finally caught another one there. And I said, well, all right, and I fished almost all the way out of the dang creek, and then went out on the main channel and started fishing, and I never got a strike out there. And I said, my goodness. And so I went back to the creek and come back around over where I caught them 3 and finally caught one more off that spot. So that's 4 fish off that spot and 1 off another. And like I say, I was out there on the channel and I fished 5 foot to 40 foot. Never got the first strike out there. I had some good structure too.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was about it, but they just didn't want to bite. And then I went back today down in the Blue Springs and started out working my way out, checking things out. And I never got a bite till I got out to the channel. And, 42 foot.
Yeah.
And you could you'd go through there in places, and you'd see them minnows. They're showing them minnows there. We got a lot of competition down there.
Yeah.
I mean, the bottom would be 45, 50 foot deep, and the minnows would be stacked up plumb up to 25 foot there, you know.
Yeah.
And 15 foot of minnows down there. And I said, dang. Even when you get that one minnow in there, he's got a lot of competition. There's all that many in there.
Right. Yeah, you got to be different, Mike. Yeah, something wounded or something there. I agree with you. Yeah, it's hard to feed them whenever they got plenty to eat.
That's, the reason I think the sunlight that'll make a big difference in it.
Yeah.
Get that sun back out down there.
Okay. We got a call here right quick. We'll take this call and see what's going on here. Hello, caller.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing all right?
I got a couple of tips on your safety. I have a waterproof whistle on my jacket.
Yeah.
I realize this time of the year there's not a lot of people on the water, but you have people that live on the water, and eventually, hopefully, somebody would hear that whistle if you was in the water and couldn't get back in the boat. I picked those up at the fishing shows where I picked them up at through the Coast Guard.
Mm-hmm. Buddy, that's a great idea. I hadn't even thought about. I got a whistle in my boat, but it's not attached to my jacket. That's a good idea. I appreciate you calling and letting us know.
Well, it's plastic, and like I said, it's waterproof, so it can't rust.
Right. Yes, sir. Man, that's a great idea. I'll need to come up with one of them myself.
Also, the other thing is, I keep a set of jumper cables in the boat, and even though your starting motor may be dead, your trolling batteries usually will have enough juice just to kick your starting motor over, and it saved me several times.
Agreed. Yes, sir. Had it done twice myself. It will work.
But I've had a set ever since I've owned the boat.
Yeah. I don't carry a truck. I don't carry jumper cables, but I just reach back there and undo them wing nuts, take the big motor, set it up there out of the way, get the trolling motor battery, put it in its place, hook the wires up, and fire right up. Done it twice, and it worked every time. But
well, I've either got boost or I've helped people boost off. But
yeah. I've been in that boat too. But hey, listen, everything you're saying is exactly right, because you could be out there till midnight and then, 30 degrees after dark, and just because you had a dead battery and couldn't get your big motor to run.
Right.
Yeah. Man, that's a good idea about the whistle. I hadn't thought about that, but you're right. If you're in the water and you can't get in, nowadays there's a lot of people on lives on the water, so surely somebody here.
Well, you would hope so anyway.
Hey, exactly right, neighbor. You're exactly right. I appreciate you.
I'd throw that in there.
Hey, I appreciate it, man, and glad you called in and let us know.
All right, y'all have a good day.
Hey, you too, brother. See you. All right, that's another little trick right there, Mike, that might save your life.
Yes.
There ain't no two ways about it. There's nothing wrong with that. 2 minutes left. Glad that guy called in and let us know. He's paying attention and heard what we had to say. I appreciate you, neighbor, really do. He'd come up with that plastic whistle, Mike. I know they're around.
I think I got one in my box.
Well, that and in my boat's plastic, but it's no way to fasten it on the life jacket. But I come up with one. That's a good idea. Sure is. And that's another thing, too. You might ought to get one of them horns and put in your boat, because if you were adrift in your boat, you could be blowing that horn. Somebody eventually hear it there on Watch Bar, because there's a lot of houses, something like that. All right. Hey, folks, we're just about out of time. Dylan, make sure you get us their sponsors' commercials up when we end the show. God bless you all. Be safe. Be smart on the water, and let's catch a lot of fish. See you next week. All right.
Has a proud history of leading our nation in embracing diversity. We've been reaching new heights for years by understanding it's our individual experiences which make us strong. You can share in this success by seeking opportunities to learn and grow as a member of a diverse team. We are the world's greatest Air Force, not because of what we do, but who we are. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Country Fresh Foods. You may not know the name, but you definitely know the taste. Our homemade fudge is shipped all over the country. Its quality is unmatched, and it's made right here in Oliver Springs. But you don't have to travel all over to enjoy it. You can get it right here at our retail store. Pamela Ann's Fudge